Obviously, everyone was emotional. You spoke to that. It's an impossibly difficult situation at the hospital Saturday night. But is there ever an instance in which men and women who are sworn to protect the city should turn their back on the mayor of the city of Chicago? What about respect for the office, not just respect for you personally?
Look, I think that's a bigger question, and I appreciate your point. It's not about me. We are living in a time where people don't respect each other. Someone said this to me the other day. Their fear that we've lost our empathy for one another, that we've lost not just the people that are the shooters that seem to have absolutely no regard for the sanctity of life, that is really hard to fathom. You know, I thought a lot about what were the circumstances that led that young man to pull out a gun and shoot to kill uniformed officers, for the Lord's sake. It's hard to wrap your mind around those kind of individual decisions, but we're seeing it every day. But larger than that is this moment where people feel like it is their right to spew hatred at everyone that they don't agree with, or make fun and mock, usually anonymously and cowardly, from social media, not confronting somebody directly and talking to them, but using the power of the pen and the keyboard to just spew unbelievable hate. So this is a larger question than what may have happened with 10 or 15 officers on Saturday night. It's why do we think it is okay for people to engage in such nasty, vicious talk, orally or worse, on social media, and then have it repeated by media as if it is fact and true. I've said this before. I think the media plays a very important role in our democracy. But you lose me when it's a race to the bottom, and it's all about the fight, and it's all about the conflict. I got to tell you, some of the reporting I've seen this week is just sickening. We all need to ask ourselves what we can do better to show our people everywhere that we have the capacity to be human beings again. There's a woman who died earlier this summer, and I had the privilege of speaking at her funeral. I talked to several of her friends to get some better insights on her. One who'd done tremendous things to contribute to her community, the Chinatown community notably. She's on her deathbed. She knows her days, and maybe her moments are numbered. But still, she had one wish and aspiration for us, which is that as Chicagoans, we learn to love each other and fall back in love with each other more deeply and stronger than ever. She gave us a gift, and a gift that we dare not squander. So the larger issue is people have to be better humans, better human beings. And it doesn't matter if they're police, it doesn't matter if they're an elected official or a reporter. We need to be better humans to each other.
Officers are upset that the first Deputy Superintendent, Eric Carter, they say did not wait for the bagpipers Saturday night before taking Officer French's body to the medical examiner's office. Did you know that that happened, and what do you think about that ritual being skipped?
So, thanks for listening to Mon. But I'll answer your question anyway. The reporting on that is just not true. It's just not true. With COVID protocols, the coroner has made a lot of new restrictions on what can and cannot happen at the morgue, is my understanding. I didn't know anything about this, obviously, on Saturday night. I was focused on supporting Ms. French and making sure, frankly, that the officers that were coming were getting the kind of treatment, because there was a lot of emotion that night, and we needed to make sure that the EAP resources were focused on the people that were obviously really struggling. That's where my focus was that night. But I heard about this thing. It's not true. And again, Eric Carter is an incredible public servant. He is a dedicated veteran. He takes his job very seriously. But what people don't like is he wasn't part of the Friends and Family program. He just did his job. And he came up through the ranks and he worked his tail off. And now he's the first deputy. There was no official honor guard. My understanding is there was no official honor guard that night. There was, I'm going to choose my words carefully, I think well-meaning, but not well-organized group that wanted to hijack the procession, which would have meant that the family would have been delayed exponentially in getting to the morgue. And again, given the new restrictions that the new coroner has put in place, that wouldn't have been fair to them, and they may have lost an important window of time. So a call was made under those circumstances to focus on the family. Eric Carter made the right call. I support what he did, and I'm horrified that in this moment, people are trying to savage him for whatever agenda or purpose. And I would just caution you all, be careful. Be careful. Check your sources. Make sure they're accurate. Get the right context. Because I know firsthand, it's really hard when the media becomes ferocious in propagating a story that's just not true. And Eric Carter deserves our respect and our thanks for his service, both as a Marine and now as a police officer for many, many years.
Mayor, Greg Wall from ABC 7, off topic.
No question from Pratt?
No question.
No question.
Okay, go ahead, Craig.
Do you have an update on the other officer's condition that you could share with us at this point?
Yeah, my information is as of yesterday afternoon, so I don't have information yet this morning. He is making small but positive progress. Again, I don't want to overshare because I think that really is his family's right. But given what we feared on Saturday night, he is getting great care. He's surrounded by a family that's loving and praying on him, and a lot of colleagues who are pulling for his recovery, and he is making some incremental progress.
And you were talking about respect earlier. Can you respond to the criticism that has been made of you that you forced your way upstairs to see that officer's family when his father
Craig,
asked
you know
not
what?
to?
I'm not going to respond to that. I don't force my way anywhere, and that's offensive, frankly, that you would ask me that question.
Heather Sharon with an off topic.
I mean, just think about it, Craig, for 10 seconds. I just sat here and talked about the fact that we've got to be really careful, and you have to be really careful in your reporting and be responsible. And you just keep lobbing this nonsense that's offensive and insulting and really does a disservice to the moment that we're in. My role as mayor when I go to the hospital is to be there to show support, to make sure that city services are there and we're being responsive to the needs of whoever it is. So come on, give me a break. It's just, what else? What else are you going to mine from the bottom of the chum barrel? Come on, you're better than that. You're better than that. You're better than that. Go ahead, Heather.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.